Now, the king of cuisine, Peter Dills. Another restaurant show, right? No, it's Peter Dills, the king of cuisine.
Hey, that's right. It's Peter Dills, the king of cuisine. It's Monday afternoon. Happy MLK Day. It's a vacation day for some of us and vacation day for me. And Turtle is back with us.
We are here. Finally, it's been quite some time, I gotta say.
Yeah, it has been a few weeks now. But, with COVID-19, I made the decision. I think it was a smart decision. Let's wait till the restaurants get back open because that's what we're all about, food and fun here.
Are the restaurants back open?
No, I mean for to go.
Okay.
They can. Yeah, I guess so, but not in Southern California. I know that up in Northern California things are getting better. Hey, I got one of my COVID shots already, so I'm halfway there.
Congratulations. Did it hurt?
A piercing of your left arm hurts, but it's not anything to do with COVID. It's the needle itself is what hurt.
Gotcha. You're not, have you spotted yourself turning to a lizard or anything like that?
No, not much, but we're going to have a good show today. We've got Trevor Thomas. He is the cheese, a.k.a. the cheese traveler, and we're going to find out what makes him such an expert on cheese. And Turtle, it's important to know that we're live here on Facebook, and you might be listening on the podcast.
Oh, yeah.
Through SoundCloud and YouTube, and there's so many ways that you can keep in touch with us. And for the time being, not by being on terrestrial radio, I've never understood what that word terrestrial meant.
Well, meaning just like on land.
Okay.
Because then there's satellite radio, which is, in the
okay. I think
space.
I get it. I think I understand. So we're live on Facebook, and we're also, of course, on SoundCloud, YouTube, iTunes, and the podcast. The podcast, we had Cheech Marin, which was from a previous recording, but you did a great job in editing it, getting rid of all the commercials. And guess what, Tay? Today's show is commercial-free as well.
All right.
So after our interview with the cheese traveler, we are going to do one of our favorite skits.
It's you ready?
Yeah. Believe it or not.
Backed by popular demand.
But I said that this show is commercial free, but I want to thank everybody that supported us in 2020. Tattinger Champagne, Sapporo Beer, Anchor Steam, Longo Lexus, Harris Ranch Beef, Beluga Vodka. And if you have I'm talking, anyway, we'll save that for another time. We don't need to talk about sponsorship today. Let's just talk about food and fun. So Turtle, what have you been doing the last few weeks?
You know what I've been doing? I've been consolidating my kitchen and all my spices, and I've finally made allspice.
Have you come up with any resolutions?
Yes, and that is to drink more.
All right, share the groups.
There's nothing else to do, Peter.
Well, I know. Well, I've been having fun over at Vaughn's, selling wine over there for a little bit, and even when I get back on the radio, I think I'll still keep my part-time gig over there at Vaughn's and see if I can actually have 4 jobs at once. When people are unemployed, I'll be working on 4 things at once.
People need jobs, Peter, and you're taking them all up.
Well, we do our best what we can here at Monday at 3:10. So we're going to be talking. I was just about ready to say Go Country 105, but they still actually owe us a show.
Do they really?
Yeah, they owe us a show. So don't be surprised if we'll be on a Sunday and then off on a Sunday. But I don't know how that's going to work. I decided that I don't want. If we're going to do a show on whatever station we're going to be on, I like those phone calls, but we do have a way for you to get a hold of us. Let's see if I can remember the number. 626-765-7543. 626-765-7543. You can leave us a message. We have been, I wish I could tell you that every day I get an email from a listener, but I do get a trickle of emails from people, especially on Sunday morning, saying, hey, but it's been a month now. So
right.
one guy said, hey, I just turned on Go Country. You're not there. Where are you? And I thought, well, that's been a month, but that's fine.
Yeah.
All right. So without further ado, why don't you see if you can get Trevor on the phone, and we'll talk about cheese. And while you're doing that, I'm looking for groups that we can actually add this Facebook thing to as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
'Cause
It's
this
so,
is something new. We're so used to radio, but now that we are kind of going rogue, as they say,
yeah.
finding these other groups that are going to listen to us. And you too, go ahead and play and share the link
Yeah,
of
please.
the video right now as we line up our next
Yeah.
guest.
Yeah. That would be great. All right. So it's Peter Dills. It is our cheese traveler show. We're going to be talking to Trevor Thomas, and this is cool that we're actually led.
Trevor, can you hear us?
Hey, how you doing?
So, Trevor, we're going to need you to get real close to that microphone. We don't want a thing like the Beluga vodka guy. So, if you're using a headphone or that type of thing, don't use that. Use actually.
I'm
there you go.
Not a headphone, and I have you on speakerphone right now.
All right, that's much better. All right. Okay, Trevor Thomas is on the phone. He is the cheese traveler. Welcome to our show. We were just setting the whole thing up. We've got some fun things to talk to you about cheese. But first, before we get into the questions, cheese traveler, tell us about how you got how did your love affair with cheese first start?
Well, first of all, thanks for having me on the show. And I really started back when I was in college. I was going to school to learn to become an architect, and I was working part-time in a cheese shop. And I really wasn't raised around all these different types of cheese, but just working around all these gourmet foods, it just really captured my imagination. I started going to more food shows where more of these types of foods were being offered, and it really just sparked my lifetime passion for cheese.
Well, we do love cheese here on the show. I guess we'll call the show back to the Food Report with Peter Dills and the Turtle. We've done a little bit of research on the cheese. You were kind enough to send us some samples, which we've got our eye on. We've got a Madalena Cabernet, and then we've got a Domaine Carneros sparkling wine, and we've got your 4 cheeses that you sent us.
Oh, great.
Yeah, we've got. I don't have my glasses on. We've got a Primo Manchego. You say it.
Yeah, I have them all right in front of me. I can run through them.
You run through them, and all. We've tried 3 of them. Well, Turtle hasn't tried any of them yet, but he will.
Yeah, I want to get that live reaction when I try them.
Yeah.
Oh, good. Yes, please do. So I have 4 different cheeses here, and I'll tell you why I picked all of them. And I built a cheese board here today, which I'll have to send some photos of. But the first item was called Chabri, and Chabri is a fresh goat cheese.
Yep.
From Western France. It's about 5 miles away from Cognac. And this is like a very fresh cheese, very much like you'd find fresh Chev, but it comes in like this little pyramid-shaped box.
Yeah, I'm showing it on Facebook right now.
Yeah, and what I like about it is that it has a resealable lid, which is great.
Yep.
And you can spread it on toast, which is fun. But what I've done here today is I've actually, I like to get fresh goat cheeses like this and cover them with fresh herbs or my own blend of spices. So all I did today on mine is I put on fresh rosemary, fresh thyme, a little cracked black pepper, and some coarse sea salt, and really just rolled this goat cheese in it. And then I'm going to drizzle the top with a little extra virgin olive oil. And I'm telling you, it takes it to a whole new level. So when I pick a cheese like this, I don't normally go with if I was just eating the cheese as is, I might go for a flavored cracker. But because all these fresh herbs are going to have so much flavor, I'm going to tend to go with like a baguette or just a plain cracker. But goat cheese is so incredibly nutritious. It's like has 13% more calcium than cow's milk. It has 25% more like B6 vitamins than cow's milk, and 134% more potassium than regular cow's milk. So It's really a really nutritious, enjoyable food that has so much less lactose than a regular goat cheese.
All right,
Or I
we're
mean,
we're we're talking to the cheese traveler, Trevor Thomas, talking about cheese. You know, you mentioned the crackers. That's kind of that's ironic that you mentioned that, because when I go to the store, I tend to buy a cracker that isn't herbed or doesn't have any seasoning to it, because I more want to taste the cheese itself.
right, right. It's all about the cheese. In fact, the cracker is optional.
Would you say that
Cheese.
with goat cheese, all the other cheeses are bad?
Yeah, yeah. There's a lot of puns in the cheese industry.
Okay,
That's only one of 100.
gotcha. How to do it?
It appears to the remains of cheese were found 4,000 years ago in Egyptian tombs. That's 4,000 years ago. To your recollection, how was cheese first invented? Do you know?
Yeah, there's some myths, but I think that there's some truth to them. And the story goes of this traveler. He's getting ready to travel across the desert, and he wants to bring some provisions with him. So he's bringing, food and blankets, but he's also drinking or bringing something to drink. And most likely he's bringing goat's milk because that was the most common drink of the era and the region. And the vessel that he's transporting the milk in was made from a goat's stomach, kind of like
Right,
what we would think of as like a Bota bag.
right.
And as he traveled across the desert, he stopped to get some refreshment, and he went to go pour out this liquid milk. And what came out into his cup was a kind of a clumpy, like substance, and it was really curds and whey. The milk had coagulated and separated, and being hungry and adventurous, he tasted the curds, and cheese was really born. And this is probably not too far from the truth, because they really did want to utilize every part of the animal. So to make a vessel out of a sheep or a goat's stomach or a sheep's stomach is not unheard of. Um, Goats were like they like scrubby vegetation. They'd eat just about anything. So really, uh, goats and sheeps were domesticated long, long before cows were.
We're talking to Trevor Thomas. He is the cheese traveler. He is probably somebody, Turtle, that you would say Torophilia. 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 You know what that is, Turtle?
I'm trying to think. Like he
I
tours a
do.
lot.
I'm a turophile, which
Torophile, Torophilia is
a turophile. Yeah, that sounds kind of bad, but a turophile is someone that just loves cheese.
obsessed with
So
cheese.
I'm definitely that one.
All right.
Then why aren't you a mouse? You know, if you're
All right. You're a certified cheese professional. I thought it was a cheesemonger, but I guess that is incorrect. You're a certified cheese professional. Tell us how you got to be that. Like a sommelier is a wine expert, somebody that can pair beers. That would be a cicerone, but you're a certified cheese professional.
That's correct. Yeah, the American Cheese Society realized that there were programs out there for wines and beers, like you just mentioned, but there was really nothing out there to really test the knowledge of these cheesemongers. And a cheesemonger just means someone that sells cheese. Um, and so they decided to put this exam together. It's not the type of exam where you study something and then you're tested on that. This is tests you on your entire body of knowledge, everything from the animals to what they eat, to the hundreds and if not thousands of different types of cheese that are out there, how they're produced, how they get to market, how they're merchandised, how they're enjoyed, what to pair with them. So it's really an all-encompassing exam that is given one time per year under the direction of the American Cheese Society. And there's about 1,000 of us across the country today. This was a program that started back in 2012, and I became a certified cheese professional in 2014.
Turtle is now grabbing the cheese as we speak. All right, let's continue on. Like I said, thank you for joining us today. Okay, I have deemed myself not lactose intolerant, but more of protein intolerant. So,
Okay.
so my deal is not cow's milk cheese. I tend to gravitate towards goat and sheep.
Yep.
Just have a little problem with the cow's milk.
I
Not
totally get it.
not to say that I can't indulge in some cow's milk every once in a while, but I can't let it build up inside. I can't let it build up inside my body. Is there a difference between goat, sheep, compared to cow's milk cheese?
Yeah. What you're speaking of is if people have a problem enjoying cheese, it tends to be one of two things. Either they're lactose intolerant, which is the sugar that's found naturally in milk.
Uh-huh.
When I'm making cheese, I'm converting the lactose into lactic acid, and that's what helps preserve it. So if I were lactose intolerant, there's one cheese here, really two on the plate that I would want to enjoy,
Okay.
and they're more aged cheeses. And what happens as a cheese ages, that those milk sugars naturally convert over to the lactic acid, and they might be easier to digest.
Ah.
But the second thing that you were talking about is the milk protein size. And we know that there's a size difference between a cow, a goat, and a sheep.
Yes.
But also, if you were to look under a microscope and look at the size of the milk proteins, what you would find is that a human milk protein is much closer in line with the size of a sheep milk protein or a goat's milk protein versus a cow. A cow's milk protein is much, much larger. And so some people do find it harder to enjoy those cheeses.
That would be me. Okay, so goat, sheep, cows. What other animals can produce milk that can be used for cheese?
Yeah, well, just about any mammal, but really a lot of them don't make sense. Like a blue whale is a mammal, but I think it'd be pretty difficult to milk a whale. So the other two that are found most commonly would be like a water buffalo. So if we're talking about mozzarella di bufala campagna, which is fresh mozzarella from the Campania region of Italy, what we're going to find is that's made from Mediterranean water buffaloes. And the other one that's kind of newer on the market is actually camel's milk cheese.
Oh.
So, it's much rarer, but I have seen it and I have tried it, and it's quite different.
It says about 1/3 of the milk produced each year in the United States is used to make cheese. Now we've got our cheeses from the local Vons, which up in North would probably be Safeway. I've got a little more trivia for you, Trevor. You know what the number one stolen item at a supermarket is?
The number one stolen item?
Yes. It's cheese, of course. 4%.
Really?
4% of all the cheese at supermarkets is stolen. It's the number one item that is stolen.
Love it. Well,
All right.
we can see why.
Yeah.
It's so good.
Okay. You somebody else.
Yeah.
It's really good.
All right, let's wrap it up with Trevor Thomas, the Cheese Traveler. And I just want everybody to know that's listening on the podcast, we're also available on SoundCloud, iTunes, and soon to be back on the radio. And if you're watching on Facebook, tell a friend. And Trevor, we hope to have you back. We hope to have you when we're back on our terrestrial radio show. That means in studio, so that we can share some cheese together. So thanks for joining us today. Can we call you again in the future?
Please do. I would love to join your discussions.
All right, that's Trevor Thomas. He is the Cheese Traveler. And for more information, he is a friend on Facebook, Trevor Thomas, the Cheese Traveler.
Man, that was good.
Yeah, that was.
I wish there was another camera on me, because I was just digging into all that cheese.
Well, Trevor is the managing retail merchandising and cheese education. That's his actual title, but that was kind of interesting. Kind of, I think for podcasts that was a great show, but for Facebook it kind of sucked because we don't get to see the actual.
Well, I
eating.
mean, you should have been eating some,
All right.
tasting some.
Let's move on.
Is there any cheese I didn't try?
Okay,
I tried that one. Oh, I didn't try that one.
all right, here, let me that's the Primo. That's the Vaughn's brand.
Okay.
And that's called Manchego cheese, like Durango. Or
By the
whatever.
way, how are you enjoying working at Vaughn's?
Oh,
by
I
the way?
dig it. It's kind of a part-time thing, but we have sales all the time, and so when we have sales, we're busy. And Super Bowl's coming up, we'll be selling a lot of beer, and then Valentine's Day. There's something always going on at Vaughn's.
And the other thing that I didn't get to discuss with you, you're doing dry January.
Yeah, dry January.
Why would you do that?
Today, well, I've done it for 8 years. It's
Really?
Just, yeah. I mean, your body, think about your liver. Your liver is about as big as this microphone sponge here.
Yeah.
And then during the year, drinking it probably increases to a baseball. And at the end of the year, it probably goes to about a softball, your liver. So every year I do this. And if you do a full dry January, which is 31 days, your liver is good for another 10 months. So if you don't take a break, your liver is in trouble. But if you can take a break for 31 days, your liver, after the 31 days, is clean and refreshed and can pump out those toxins for another 10 months.
So let me get this straight. So as soon as it hits midnight on New Year's Eve,
Yeah, no.
on New Year's Day, as soon as it hits midnight, right there, New Year's Eve, New Year's Day,
Yeah.
that you don't crack open a bottle of Tattinger, or you don't do anything
I don't
like
make
that.
it. I'm too old. I don't make it till midnight anymore. All right, let's move on. Let's go on to Believe It or Not. For those of you that are listening on SoundCloud or on our podcast, it's Peter Dills, and that's the Turtle. And we usually are on a regular radio station. If you like it, subscribe and check out our other podcasts. We've got BJ Thomas, Raindrops Keep Falling on Our Head, Cheech Moran. And now we just had Trevor Thomas, the Cheese Traveler.
And most importantly, we are on YouTube as well, so you can check out the
Subscribe.
show and check it out. So there's many different ways to be a part of our family, and thank you for being a part and listening. Appreciate it.
Let's do it. Let's do it.
So it's now time for Believe It or Not, and this is a portion of the show where I go and I find a bunch of stories that are so unbelievable that one of them is not true. And we always see whether or not Peter can find out which one isn't true.
Oh, Lordy.
So it's
Mike Dobbs isn't. I don't see Mike Dobbs there. All right. Maybe. Well, it's been kind of out of the blue that we're doing this. So.
Yeah. we promised to become more scheduled. But the first one's always the weird one, as we're getting our
I'm
timing
ready for
right.
Believe It or Not.
All right.
Believe it or not, NASA has found an asteroid worth an estimated $10 quadrillion. It's made out of iron and nickel. Believe it or not, Yelp is quietly replacing phone numbers and adding tracking numbers so that Grubhub can bill for a marketing fee. Wait a minute, let me think about that. Yelp is quietly replacing phone numbers and adding tracking numbers that Grubhub can bill for a tracking fee. All right, I don't know about quietly, but okay. Believe it or not, Amazon is looking into buying old shopping malls and converting them into warehouses. I believe that. Believe it or not, there is legal strategy called the Chewbacca defense, in which a criminal defense lawyer tries to confuse the jury rather than refute the case of the prosecutor. Well, all right, big deal. Believe it or not, Queen Elizabeth II is related to Vlad the Impaler, making Prince Charles the heir to Dracula's bloodline. That's it? Those are the ones I have the choice from?
It's only 5, yeah. It's always been 5, Peter.
Whew, okay. All right. Ready? Believe it or not, NASA has found an asteroid worth an estimated $10 trillion. Sure. Yelp is quietly replacing phone numbers. Yeah. Amazon is looking to buy old shopping malls and converting them into. Yeah, so what? Believe it or not, the legal strategy called the Chewbacca defense. Now, see, that's so outrageous that one might be like the most true out of all of them. So I'm going to concentrate on 4. Queen Elizabeth II related to Vlad the Impaler, making Prince Charles the heir to Dracula's bloodline. That doesn't sound so far-fetched. Oh man, NASA has found an asteroid worth an estimated $10 quadrillion. Um, okay, it's either that one or the legal strategy called the Chewbacca defense. Criminal defense lawyers try to confuse the jury. Oh, happy birthday to Brett Bartlett.
Oh,
Brett Bartlett turns 60 today. Oh, we met.
We-
Well, we'll
yeah,
do it again.
yeah.
We'll do it again after this thing.
we're still getting used to the show
Right.
like this because we usually take breaks and stuff like that.
All right,
so.
let me say this. Damn you, Turtle. I'm going to say, if I say NASA has founded an asteroid worth an estimated $10 quadrillion, you're going to say, yeah, it's true. Yelp is quietly replacing phone numbers and adding tracking numbers so that Grubhub can bill them for a marketing fee. Yelp is replacing phone numbers and adding tracking numbers. So, okay, that one confuses me. If that's the right answer or wrong answer, bad on you, because don't even know what that means. Amazon is looking to buying. There is a legal strategy called the Chewbacca defense. Going back to that one, Queen Elizabeth II related Vlad the Impaler, making Prince Charles. Queen, help me, Lord. I'm going with NASA has found an asteroid. No, I'm not. I'm going with Queen Elizabeth II related to Vlad the Impaler.
Final answer.
Final answer is Queen Elizabeth II is related to Vlad the Impaler.
No, she actually is.
All right.
Can you believe that?
NASA did not find an asteroid worth $10 billion.
They actually did. Peter, let me borrow $1 trillion. I'll go get it.
There's a legal strategy called the Chewbacca defense.
There actually is.
Amazon is looking into buying old shopping malls. So what? Oh, that's a terrible question.
That's great.
Terrible. Terrible question. Terrible. Oh my God. Terrible question. All right. Remember, if you missed part of the show, you can stream us on iTunes, SoundCloud, or Spotify. Follow me on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube. And to watch a replay of the show, we have plenty of links on Dining with Dills. We'll get those up. Thanks, everyone. Thank you, Turtle, for stopping by on Thursday or Monday afternoon. And now it's time for my food for thought. It's only quarantine if quarantine Provence of France. Otherwise, it's just sparkling isolation. I get it. That's going to wrap up another show. Thanks for tuning in. Let's thank all of our sponsors. Domaine Carneros, Tattinger Champagne, Longo Lexus, Jim at Huntington Meats, Longo Lexus.
The cheese traveling guy.
Cheese traveling guy.
Did he have a website or anything like that?
Well, the problem is with the cheese traveler. There's 3 cheese travelers on Instagram. I'm sure he's one of them, but I'm not sure. He should have copyrighted the name, the cheese traveler.
Food for thought.
What else? Domaine Carneros, Tattinger Champagne, Sapporo Beer, everybody that makes this happen. If you want to get a hold of us, go to our website, diningwithdills.com. For now, I have to say we'll see you at my dining table.
Dining with Dills. You're dining with Dills.